So let's take this right down. This isn't how Aaron and Mike camp.
No, we're not going to take this antelope thing too seriously. Got to get up in the morning and have some breakfast. Those antelope will wait. Trust me, they'll wait. Well, we're at 9,500 feet this morning. It's the opening day of a season, and you're never going to guess at 9,500 feet what we're after, but we're actually up here after antelope. This tag that I always put in for is probably one of the coolest hunts, antelope hunts in the country, because once we get up on the top up here, we're going to be over 10,000 feet, probably close to 11,000 feet, hunting antelope. So it's a very special place to hunt antelope. This morning we've already got a herd of elk behind us, a whole bunch of antelope. We've actually spotted a black wolf over here. Just a great start to the morning. So the plan is today we're just going to start moving up these big valleys here, and we're just going to keep working up them until we find that buck we like. The little guy, he's probably 12 inches long, no cutters, just little thin horns that go clear up. Kind of cool looking. I've never seen one without cutters before. Well, there we go. Antelope at 10,000 feet, 10,300, and we're not even to the top yet. We've got 20 does back here. We don't see a buck yet, but there's still some filtering out from the bottom, so we're going to hang out here. It'd be pretty cool to shoot an antelope at 10,000 feet, so we're going to see what's here. This is a decent goat. We might get set up for this shot here. They look to be 800-900 yards, so pretty decent shot, you know, for these conditions. Got a wind that's almost quartering to them, so zero wind hold. Well, that buck finally made his way over here and was tending those does. It's just not quite what we're looking for. We still have got that first one that we saw when we first started heading in here. This one's only about 11 or 12 inches. He's got good cutters, good mass. He's just way short. We got a couple hours till it gets dark. So we're just going to work our way off this mountain down to camp, and if we see anything exceptional on the way, we'll pull out, get off and shoot it, and if not, we'll be back right here again in the morning, right back up here at 10,000 feet. So well, morning of day 2. We kind of struck out yesterday. We got on a couple good bucks. We actually got the gun set up once, but it just didn't happen. He went over the hill. So this morning we've got some spotted in this high mountain basin up there, back up at 10,000 feet. Looks like we're there where nobody's even bothering them. And we got a buck spotted up there. So we're going to head up on top again, up to 10,000 feet. And we're going to see if we can come in on top of them in this big basin up here. Broke over the top here, and looks like we've got that buck right out here in this big bowl. We're going to drop right down off the road here. There's a little flat spot, and we'll be able to set up, make a nice platform for a shot over there. Looks like he's going to be probably in that 800-yard range. We'll have to see when we get over there, but it's going to make a nice little spot to shoot from. Got a 10 to 20 mile an hour wind. That's going to be the tricky part on this one, so we'll get down there and get the wind doped, get the range, and hopefully put a shot on this buck. This wind's gonna be trickier than I thought. We kind of got off that hill. It's actually blowing a little harder up there than it is here. You guys need to always remember that when you bail off, there's something called a wind gradient, and essentially is the closer you are to the ground, the less the wind's gonna be because there's more obstructions. So what we've got is a whole bunch of trees over to the left of us here blocking the wind. So it's showing 5 to 10 down here, but it was showing 15 to 20 up there. So you got to be really careful with that wind doping when it comes to your wind gradient. You don't want to take it right on the ground. You want to get stood up so that you can get rid of all those obstructions. Got him, 900 yards, 25 to 15 mile an hour wind. It looked like I hit him a little far back, probably top of the lungs and the liver there, 3-4 inches down in his back. Broke his spine, dropped him. So good shot, probably overcompensated just a little bit on the wind. And so it was come back a little, but a good shot. So we're gonna wrap up. Once we get all this stuff wrapped up, we're gonna head back over there and we'll show you a really good antelope. All right, let's go get him. Got a long walk over there. Here he is. This is our hard-fought trophy for the last couple days. We had a lot of competition up here. We thought by coming up here on the mountain at 10,000 feet that we'd kind of leave everybody behind, but we ended up having a few guys try to do the same thing, and they kind of boogered up the goats we were really after. This is a great representation of what this area has to hold. It's not a trophy area by any means, but you know, definitely respectable bucks, you know, 12, 13 inches, good mass and cutters. It's just a fun hunt up here on the mountain. And it's a great way to put that BR2 rangefinder to the test. You know, we're at 10,000 feet, you know, 30, 40 degrees today. And we had a little bit of an angle on that. And instead of doing the math, the rangefinder was able just to give me the right shoot-to range, and I let him have it. So well, we got some work to do now. Luckily, we shot him up in this little bowl right here. So all we have to do is hike him back down. And we got about exactly a 900-yard hike back to where we need to be. Okay, the next part of cleaning your rifle is actually a part that's overlooked quite a bit, and that's cleaning of your bolt. Now, not just the outside of it, you know, spraying it off, but actually the internal mechanisms on this bolt. So we're going to show you a couple different ways to disassemble this bolt, and so that you can clean it properly after, you know, a grueling hunt in the dusty conditions, so that you don't have any hang-ups of that firing pin. So the first way I'm going to show you is actually using the proper tool for the job, and that should be the way you do it all the time, but sometimes you don't have access to these gunsmithing tools. So what this tool does is it sits on top of the bolt like this. There's a little catch right here. That goes down and that grabs top part of that bolt right there. You're able to pull it back, and that releases it and allows you to unthread the bolt from the firing pin. Okay? And this is what you have left. You have a firing pin with a spring mechanism on it, and then you have a bolt body that has a hole in it for the firing pin to come out, and it has a recessed taper for the firing pin. Okay? The next step is to get these items clean. So what we're going to use is, since we've got some of this KG3, but like I said, you could use carb cleaner as well, just a good solvent. We're going to take and we're going to spray this top to bottom, and we're going to get all the grease and all the oil and all the debris off the bolt and out of the inside of this bolt. And so we'll just clean it all off. Be sure you clean the inside. This is probably the most important part, is the inside of this bolt, because of that tolerance where that nose cone goes on that firing pin. Any little piece of debris in there and it will hang up. All right, now that the bolt is clean inside and out, we're going to clean the firing pin mechanism. So we want all these surfaces clean of debris and oil, because what does oil do? Oil collects dirt. Okay, now we've got both assemblies clean. They're free of all dirt and debris. If you would like, you can take a little light oil, like some Rem oil, the spray kind, or some of this Winchester. Spray a light coating onto your bolt, spray it off with some air, get all the extra off of there. You don't want any spots or heavy oil on there. Just a light, thin residue will work. And then you're going to take some of your gun grease, and you need to put a little grease right on these threads right here.
Now we don't want a lot because we don't want so much that it, when we screw it into the bolt assembly, that this grease gets down in on top of our firing pin, because we don't want that grease in there, because grease will freeze. Now that we've got that grease on our threads, we'll just insert it into the bolt housing and then we'll just spin it back on. Now, there's a little spot right here. If you'll notice, there's a tiny little dimple right in that bolt right there. That is where you're going to want to drop that firing pin back into when it's done. And essentially it's ready to go now. Now, there's a couple key places on this bolt where you need to keep lubricated. Those places are going to be behind the bolt lugs, because that's going to incur most of the pressure. That's what's holding that bolt from coming back out of the action. So we'll put just a little bit there. We don't want too much because we don't want all that grease down in those recesses. We'll put a little on the back side. The ejection ramp, a lot of guys forget the ejection ramp right here. We'll put a little grease right there. And then I'll just take a little on my finger, moisten it up a little bit, and then right where the trigger release is, we'll put just a little bit right there. If you can see it, it's too much. And there you have it. The bolt is ready to go back into the rifle and use.
We're headed up the hill to find an antelope, hopefully. All right, well, this is the second part of my antelope hunt. I was able to kill a pretty nice one in the same area. My brother and I put in as a party and we both drew tags, so he was able to come up here. It's been 2 weeks since the season opened, and we're up in here, and as you can see, the landscape's drastically changed. We've got snow now, a big storm blew in, and the antelope left. So the advantage of the area that we drew is we got to hunt in this high elevation, but the disadvantage is when you get snow, the antelope migrate elsewhere. So we're having a tough time finding one. We're gonna peek up over the top of this hill, see if we can see one up here. I'm betting that there's gonna be one in here just because it's a nice little pocket tucked away from all the roads, and nobody's gonna be able to get in there unless they do some hiking. So we're gonna sneak up over this edge and see if we can find one. So we hike up this little ridge right here, and we got some antelope spotted over there. There's a decent sized buck with them. So we'll probably get set up and I don't know, probably get a little bit closer and then set up on them. I should be able to get a good shot on them. Just hold it. He just laid down. Hey, grab the gun, come over here. Well, we got him. We shot him that first shot, and I hate to say this, but I think we had a bullet failure. I think it zipped right through without opening it up. We got ready to shoot again, and he kind of started walking real slow and ended up just tipping over there in the sagebrush when we were trying to get ready to shoot again. I think, I'm almost positive, we'll have to check, but I think we got him that first shot right through the boiler room, right behind the front shoulder, and it looked like the bullet didn't open up or something. It passed right through, didn't do any damage. He walked like 20, 30 yards and then just laid down, tipped over there. So we're gonna pack up our stuff and go check him out. We're using one of our Carbon X models in a 6XC 115 grain bullet. I've never had them fail before, but we're gonna go check it out. Maybe it just zipped right through.
Hunting apparel for long-range pursuit provided by Sitka and Kenetrek Boots of Montana. License applications made through Cabela's Tags. Brought to you by Gunwerks, G7 Optics, Night Force, Hornady, Flatline Ops, and Caldwell Shooting Supplies.
Did you get that on film?
Yes, I'm still getting it on film.
Dude, it's a bug.